We are back with a new reading skill today. This is called Compare and Contrast, and I'm on page 47 of your reading book. And you need this piece that is, once it's folded, it looks like this picture. This is called a Venn diagram. V-E-N-N, Venn. And we use this type of diagram to show how things are alike and how they're different. So that's the skill that we're looking at today with this Venn diagram. And I want to read the passage first. We'll do our annotation as always, and then I'll show you how the Venn diagram works. So this is continuing the story about kangaroos that we've been working with. This one is called, Is That a Kangaroo? It is easy to see why people often confuse a wallaby for a kangaroo. Like a kangaroo, a wallaby hops on his hind legs and tail. Wallabies also carry their young in pouches like kangaroos. But wallabies are much smaller than kangaroos. Their coats are shiny, unlike the dull coat of a kangaroo. And a wallaby's legs are short and compact, while a kangaroo's legs are long and sturdy. And I see a grammar mistake right here. That's a possessive noun, so you need an apostrophe with kangaroo's legs. I did not write this, and the person who did has some serious grammar challenges, but we'll mark them and keep going. So let's take a look at main idea, or actually topic we do first. In a few words, what is this entire passage about? Now, up until now, we've just highlighted the title, but that won't work this time because this passage is not just about kangaroos. This passage is about wallabies and kangaroos. Wallabies and kangaroos would be the topic. So be careful that you're not just highlighting it because it's the title. It actually has to name the topic. So wallabies and kangaroos would be your topic. The main idea is that people often confuse a wallaby for a kangaroo. That the two animals are very similar in some ways, and in some ways they're not very similar. So we're looking at the similarities and differences. Those are our keywords. How they're alike, how they're different. So I'm looking for those keywords that tell me similarities and differences. And then I need to find the details. Like a kangaroo, a wallaby hops on his hind legs and tail. That's a like. Wallabies also carry their young in pouches. But wallabies are much smaller than kangaroos. Their coats are shiny. Kangaroos have a dull coat. Wallabies' legs are short and compact, while kangaroos' legs are long and sturdy. So you see how I'm pulling those details just like we've been doing so far. Now let's organize this information, and this is where the Venn diagram comes into play. And if you've watched the assembly video, you should cut on these lines. Just make sure you've cut those so those doors will raise up. With a Venn diagram, the middle is always the both. This is how the two topics or subjects are alike. So both wallabies and kangaroos will be the label for this middle piece. And then you need to label the two sides. You don't have to put wallaby on this side. It can go on either. There's no rule about that. You just put each subject on a door by itself. So this is what the Venn looks like when it's labeled, and you will always put the similarities in the middle. They will go here. So let's start with those. These are the ways that the animals are alike. And I can't lift my doors up, so I'm just going to write underneath it. But you want to lift up that middle door, and this is what goes under there. The two animals are alike in that they hop on their hind legs and they carry their young in pouches. So under this middle door, both hop on hind legs. And there was more to that. It wasn't just their hind legs, it was their hind legs and their tails. So both hop on hind legs and tail, and they're both marsupials. They both carry their babies in pouches. You remember we did a timeline of that, how long the baby stays in the pouch. So these are the similarities. This is where we are comparing the two. Now, to contrast, we need to look at how they are not alike, how they're different. So let's tackle the wallaby first. Wallabies are much smaller. So you could be able to look at an animal and make a guess about whether it's a wallaby or a kangaroo. Wallabies have shiny coats. Wallabies have short, compact legs. As opposed to the kangaroo. It tells us that kangaroos are larger. Remember from our first lesson, they can weigh up to 200 pounds. They have a dull coat, so their fur is not shiny. And they have long, sturdy legs. So this is an example of comparing and contrasting using a Venn diagram. I am going to stop this video, but we have another example in the next video using the same diagram. So I'll see you soon.